Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jodie from Decoris Vintage Designs, and in today's tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to take something as old and rustic as this and turn it into something really girly and really pretty. So stay tuned for that. The first thing I do before I paint any piece is give my piece a really good clean with white lightning. I have mixed some white lightning in a mister bottle here, and I'm just spraying it straight onto the piece and then giving it a really good old wipe down. White lightning is a really strong cleaner. That being said, this piece was a massive challenge. I was not expecting all of that black to start wiping off as soon as I started cleaning it, and I was like, oh, you know, I was expecting a really easy piece, but yeah, it turned out there was going to be a lot of prep involved. So my sponges became saturated very quickly, towels became saturated in this black weird stuff very quickly as well. So in the end I just had to keep spraying this piece down with the white lightning water mix and then spraying it down with plain water as well. But normally when you use white lightning you would just spray it straight onto your piece of furniture, wipe that furniture down and then give your furniture a really good mist with plain water, just to make sure that all of the white lightning residue is off as well. And just make sure that when you use white lightning, because it is a really strong cleaner, that you wear gloves, because the last thing you want is that sort of abrasiveness hitting your skin. Not only will it irritate it, but I always think stuff like that can age skin as well, so it's just best just to keep things, you know, protected. This piece altogether probably took me around 2 hours to clean, and I was just sat in this massive puddle of black water and I'm just like, what on earth is this stuff? But I did persevere, because the last thing that I wanted to do was paint on top of whatever this is. I managed to get most of it off. That being said, some of it was well sunken into the grain, and I don't know if it was just stained, I don't know. So after I gave it a clean, I just gave it a really good scuff sand as well. But what the white lightning will have done is ensured that all of the oily residues will have been removed, so that it wouldn't have affected the paint that I used on top anyway. I'm not gonna lie, getting all of that stuff off was a bit of an ordeal. So I thought this was just going to be a nice easy project to get started with not much prep. I thought it had just been painted before, and I thought, oh, okay, I'll just clean it and give it a scuff sand. And in actual fact, as soon as I put water on this, whatever this black stuff was, it just completely reactivated. It's like, let me show you my towel. It's like oil. I've got no idea what they've used. If anybody knows, then please let me know in the comments. So I've got as much of it off as I can. I've given it a scuff sand, and now I'm going to definitely go in and prime with some Boss. You can't even see the label anymore. So this is what I'm using, and what this will do is it will just make sure that if there is any residual stuff left over, then it will just stop any bleed through when I put my paint on top. I don't know yet if I'm painting in chalk, mineral paint or silk paint, but I just think a layer of this either way wouldn't hurt. Dixie Belle Boss comes in 3 colours. It comes in white, grey and also clear. It blocks stains, it blocks bleed through, and it also blocks odours as well. So I just decided, just to be on the safe side, I was just going to put a coat of this on, and I did use silk all-in-one mineral paint in the end, but this didn't hurt. It would have just been added protection. Alright, so this piece is now all nice and primed. It's all ready to paint. I'm actually going to blend some silk colours into this. I'm going to blend quite a few, so I'll talk you through them as I use each one and let you know which colour it is, but these are the paints that I'm going to use. I'll show you really quickly. They are on my messy floor, but yeah, these are the colours that I'm using today that I'm going to be blending. I just want to say that, you know, I'm obviously using a lot of colours here. If you don't feel that confident in your blending skills and you think there are too many colours, or I don't know, maybe you just can't afford to get all the colours, you know, there's no pressure here. Just maybe instead of using 2 blues, maybe just use 1 blue, 1 pink, and then sort of a colour in between. You know, you don't have to use all these colours, just make what you can work for you.
The colour I started with today is the new Dixie Belle Silk colour Desert Rose. I used 1 brush to apply all my colours with, and I'm thinking I want something like a sunset. I then start placing a little bit of Desert Sunrise and also a little bit of conch into that, just to give it a really good blend. Then on the top of that I start mixing in Tide Pool, which is a minty green with a little bit of Harbour, which is this really soft blue, and then at the top there I started applying some Mirage, which is a really deep blue from Dixie Belle. And then you can see here there's just lots of squiggly things going on. I just added the colours where I wanted to add them. It's so easy to do. And then I got my Best Dang brush and just very, very softly started blending all of that together by using rotating circular movements. When my brush started to get a little bit full with paint, I just made sure I had a clean lint-free rag to hand and I wiped off any excess. But it's super easy to do. If I can just blob a lot of paint all over and then use this brush to blend it out, then I'm sure anybody can. And also don't worry about using all of the colours if you don't have them, just use what colours you do have. So on the top here I just continued on the sky. You can see there's a little bit of pink still left in my brush, but I kind of went with it, it's fine. And then again just got my Best Dang brush and started to blend that out. Once my silk had dried, I then decided to apply the brand spanking new Flower Child transfer, which was inspired by the very talented Leonore Designs, who is also a brand ambassador for Dixie Belle. It's a super pretty transfer, lots of colour and full of character, and I just thought this would work really well with this kind of blended soft sky that I've got going on. So when applying a transfer, just make sure that you place it where you want it to start with, and then just very, very slowly with the applicator stick that you get inside, start to rub the transfer onto the furniture and then peel back the backing paper. This is how I like to work it anyway, and I find this the easiest for me, is just to work in sections and take your time and do it slowly. You should then find that it removes really easily, and I just like to use my hand afterwards just to give it a little bit of a burnish, and this will remove any air bubbles. It will also remove you know, the halos that are around the edges, and just make the transfer adhere better to the furniture. You can also layer these transfers, so you can build them up as much as you want, add as many flowers as you like, and I'm also putting them around the corner there so that the flowers are on the outer edge as well. And the only other thing that I would want to mention is to make sure that your paint, whatever you've used, is completely dry before you apply your transfer on top. The last thing that you want is to waste a transfer because you've been a little bit impatient and your paint's not ready for the transfer. So just make sure that your paint, you know, is adhered to the furniture before you go in there and apply it. What I also like to do for an extra bit of burnishing is to grab a Dixie Belle finishing pad and just go over the transfer with that as well, and that again just makes sure that it's all the air bubbles and things are removed and it's nice and secure. The final thing that I did to seal this piece was use white wax. This is called Best Dang Waxing White, and I applied it with the Best Dang brush. So you can see here how it completely alters the look of the paint. So white wax is absolutely fantastic for softening colours, for bringing colours together, and also making colours look more pastel-like. I also use the wax to seal the transfer. It's up to you whether or not the wax is for you. I really wanted this soft faded pastel-like look, but you can also use clear coats or whatever wax, you know, whatever your go-to top coat is basically. Because the waxes are water based, if you just want to, you think actually I would like the white wax but I also want to seal with a clear coat because that's my process, then because these are water based you can go and apply the white wax and also then apply a Dixie Belle clear coat, and that would seal the piece as well. You couldn't apply them on top of each other. And here's the finished look. I love this transfer and I think it looks so pretty with this blend. Let me know in the comments as always what your thoughts are. Did you like the white wax, or would you, if you were going to do a look like this, would you leave the white wax out of it? Let me know. And as always guys, have a great time painting and take care. Bye bye.